President Trump announced a new plan to lower beef prices, stating on social media for the next 90 days, the U.S. will allow up to 300,000 metric tons of product for ground beef to be imported with no out-of-quota tariff. Adding, we have commitment that this beef will be sold at 25% below current market prices. This summer, the cost of beef hit record highs amid a drop in the number of U.S. livestock. As the National Cattlemen's Beef Association weighed in, sharing, NCBA is disappointed by the president's statement. While America's cattle producers share the goal of keeping groceries affordable for consumers, flooding the market with government-subsidized below-market beef is not the way to rebuild the American cattle herd. It comes as the commander-in-chief is also trying to reach new trade terms with Canada.
Very major tariffs were going on to Canada today. We delayed it for 3 days.
That was Wednesday, and 2 days have passed and still no agreement. With the deadline looming at midnight, or Canada could face 50% tariffs on $20 billion worth of goods, as President Trump also hinted at the revival of the Keystone XL pipeline, a project that could bring oil from Canada to U.S. refineries. Negotiations are now underway here in D.C. between the U.S. and Canada trade reps. Still no agreement, but they do have a few more hours before President Trump's deadline.
Well, there you have it. We're going to stop. There go commercials popping in.
Animation.
Well, welcome back again. Welcome to Tank Talks TV. We have not been here for a few minutes, but I wanted to come in and give you a little bit of notices today. So if you have not heard, our great president, Donnie Dwayne Lee Wayne, Willie John Trump has made a deal with some people to about our meat. Okay, the thing that we eat, the cows and the cow that feed us back. And I want to come and share with you so we can kind of keep an update on this right here, what's going on, so you can kind of understand it too, because I think you might want to know some of these things. So thank you for being here. And again, this is Tank Talk TV, and I'm gonna bring you over here to another one so we can kind of catch up on this, and we're gonna catch up on this together. Welcome in the room. Okay, let's go.
Tyson Foods is changing its beef business, closing 2 facilities and putting another up for sale as the company points to a historic shortage of cattle nationwide. KCRG TV9's Libby Randall explains what this could mean for family-owned farms.
Come on, boys!
Steve Swanka's Johnson County farm has been in his family since 1912 through droughts, recessions, and now a shrinking list of buyers. Tyson Foods is planning to close an Illinois plant as it restructures its beef business because of an ongoing cattle shortage. He doesn't sell cattle directly to Tyson, but he could still feel the impact.
Within hours after the announcement of the plant closure, we saw the markets fall about $10 a hundred, and that was just until Friday morning.
And getting cattle to another processor could add another expense.
The next closest packing facility is Dakota City, Nebraska. It's approximately 375 miles away. So just in trucking alone, it's gonna cost producers about between $50 and $60 per head.
Swanka says for some smaller family farms, that could wipe out an entire profit margin. But the impact won't necessarily reach every part of the beef industry. The owner of Nelson's Meat Market in Cedar Rapids tells TV9 he's not concerned the restructuring will impact his business. But for cattle producers, Swanka says the question now is where the market goes next.
And there's a lot of anxiety for all the cattlemen in the country right now, and we're just kind of, everybody's on a wait and see to see what.
And I don't want you to have to wait and see. Trump, I need you to come and fix it because you promised these people that you was going to make America great again, and you are not making it great. I'm not sure of what's going on, but we need to all come together and watch the beef. Now, I know I have seen some things about people saying, well, this is what they voted for. And I think they were voting, but I don't think they knew that they was going to get a scam like this. This is America, the United States of America, okay? And one thing about us is not only that we love our GUNs and and other things, but they love meat, okay? And it's a part of that. Now, if you have not been knowing this as well, you know that Tyson has laid off a lot of people. And right now, like I have said before, and I'm gonna say it again a million times over, that I feel like, and I think I feel it myself, is that we are all in a recession. You know what I'm saying? Because something just seems to still not be going right. And I want to catch up around all the news that's going on around this, because this right here is becoming a really big thing. Okay, and I want you to be aware of it as well, because you got to be aware of what you're eating out there, right? And I want you to know I want you to know. Let's get over to this one. Let me see this over here. Let me see. I'm gonna pick out. I gotta pick out one of these stories for y'all to see, because I want y'all to catch up on all of this good stuff right here. Hold on. Welcome. Yes, I never left. I was here. I've never left. So check out this next one, so you can kind of be aware on what your beef is going on. All right, because you want to know what you're eating. All right, check this out.
Integrity traveled to a feedlot near the village of Dodge. Aaron?
Beef producers say the president's announcement comes at a critical time for them and creates uncertainty.
Joan Ruskamp and her husband Steve have 1,100 heifers here at J&S Feedlot.
We can control our pen conditions, our nutrition,
A heifer is a
the
small
way we
cow.
take care of our cattle. But it's those outside forces that are the hardest for us to navigate, especially a sudden release of news.
She says there's reason for where the price of beef is at.
We've had really great beef demand, which we appreciate. And so that means consumers are willing to pay for it because they recognize the value of it.
And the U.S. herd is at a 75-year low, and supply needs to increase. Craig Uden, president of Nebraska Cattlemen, says Friday's news makes it more difficult for producers to commit to growing the herd.
These guys got long-term investments that they're looking to put out there. You know, it's not a 1 year, 2 year. It's a 10-year, 15-year commitment, and it takes a lot of dollars and a lot of work and a lot of effort to continue to increase this beef production.
Uden says they don't agree the U.S. can import its way to reducing beef prices.
That constant drum out there that beef prices are too high creates a lot of angst in the country for our producers as they look forward to making decisions.
Oh yeah. A lot of the farms are really having a lot of issues. And I don't understand what Trump trade agreement was, but I think you all have heard about some of our wild horses, okay, being rattled up by flying black helicopters. Now, shout out to Lovely TV. I want to go over here to Lovely TV. Let me see, can I find my sister? I just seen her. I just had it on my screen. Let me see, can I find her? Which one she in? But I want to go over here to Lovely T. And because the way that she kind of breaks this down for me is a lot better for me. And I want y'all to be able to understand and hear this too. Okay. So I want y'all to check this out.
And I don't know, 30 billion tons of beef. And so everybody's like, okay, where the fuck is this beef coming from? You know, and the ranchers are not happy because him importing beef, that cuts out their profits. So that's one of the main issues that's going on right now with that. So let's go ahead. I'm going to play another news clip of them talking about Trump, trying to help the ranchers. And then we're going to just play some other clips of how people are really feeling about his proposal. So give me just a second to make sure. Let's see here. Okay, so we're gonna watch this clip instead.
President Trump has announced a new plan to lower beef prices, but not everyone's on board, including ranchers right here in Oregon. In a social media post on Friday, Trump said he will provide temporary tariff relief for some ground beef imports, allowing up to 300,000 metric tons to enter the U.S. tariff-free over the next 90 days. The president says that beef will be sold at 25% below current market prices, as ground beef prices remain near record highs nationwide. But the Oregon Farm Bureau and several other state farm bureaus are pushing back hard. They say ranchers are already struggling with high feed, fuel, and labor costs on top of drought and wildfire pressures. Several farm organizations are now warning that flooding the market with cheap imports could leave both ranchers and consumers worse off in the long run. Oregon Farm Bureau President Angela Bailey said Friday, quote, flooding the market with discounted foreign beef is difficult to reconcile with an America First agenda and risks leaving both Oregon ranchers and American consumers worse off in the years ahead.
So they're very upset about this. I want to play the other gentleman that we were listening to earlier. I'm going to replay his clip because he's making some really good points.
Folks, we finally got some details on that 300,000 tons of magic beef that Trump said he was going to come up with, and it is way worse than you thought it was. This is Old Texas Paul. Hope your coffee is as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. Yeah, it's a lie. It's a lie. There is no 300,000 tons of beef that Trump magically found somewhere that is going to import. No, that's not happening. This does nothing to deal with the supply and demand problem that is making beef so high. See, when this was announced, I was like, bullshit. Where are you? The only way to get additional beef is to slaughter additional cattle. No beef producing country, has excess cattle right now. They're all in the same boat we are. They're all short of cattle. U.S. herds are at historic lows. Now, did ranchers make money in the beginning of this when they were selling their herds off because beef prices were high? Yes. But it's been sustained for so long because of, idiotic policy that now they have been completely unable to rebuild their herds. That's global. There is no excess 300 tons of beef laying around to import. What Trump actually did was he stripped away the trade agreements that we had that were protecting our ranchers right at the time when they are most vulnerable because their input costs have gone astronomically high. Diesel, feed, pharmaceuticals, everything. Transportation is all historically high. They are not rolling. They are not the hole in the bucket. It's not. The corporations are making the most money on this, not the ranchers. And their protections just got stripped away at the worst possible time. This is going to have long-term ramifications for our beef prices. And the eliminating of these tariffs is going to do absolutely nothing to bring beef prices down other than a few pennies in the short term. In fact, it's going to make them worse over the long term. Yeah, there's no beef coming. The supply and demand problem still exists.
Right.
So basically, what Texas Pete, I forget, that's odd sauce. Basically, what he's saying is, where is the beef? There is no beef coming. And so a lot of people have been taking to social media because a lot of people, I guess, like in the North Dakota area, like in the plains, there's a lot of wild horses out there. So folks have been noticing there's been a lot of helicopters out there harassing the horses. There's been strange, white men out there gathering the wild horses and then just putting them into containers. And so people are not putting two and two together. They're like, okay, he said he's going to bring in 300, tons of beef out of nowhere, magical beef. Everybody around the world is struggling, with the beef crisis, okay? You get beef by making cows, mate and have calves. But he's supposedly bringing in all this beef. A lot of people are starting to think that it's not beef at all, that it may be horses. So that's what a lot of folks are thinking. A lot of people are posting videos on social media of them wrangling wild horses. A lot of natives have been talking about it. So something is not clean in the buttermilk.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and play some more clips of people just talking about the beef situation in general. And then I'm going to show you guys some of the clips about this whole horse meat situation. Because a lot of people feel like it's horse meat. And that's what that they're trying to, feed folks. So give me just a second here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up those clips real quick.
Thank you, Lovely C. We appreciate you. Shout out to her. Shout out to About Fair Use.
You're not too old. You're not
okay.
Too
ain't no wrong with that. And we'll pay for a commercial today.
Incorrect.
Okay, let's go.
At this point, it's all insane.
It's all insane.
This is right. So let's see here.
Got an announcement from the administration. They're going to import a bunch more boxed beef and hopefully bring down the price of ground beef in the store for y'all.
Look, I understand why you're angry. Everybody in this country should be angry about what is happening to family farms. The problem is you're acting like this happened by accident when you and 2/3 of rural America voted for these exact policies. The exact trade wars, the exact economic agenda that this exact administration has brought directly to your doorstep. Because he has now paused the trade war that he created to waive 300,000 metric tons of foreign beef to enter the market, crashing cattle futures. Another way to say it is that you, an American farmer, is now left holding the bag and being harmed even further.
We've seen a market crash for live cattle that people like myself grow.
So y'all see what he's saying is basically they're getting what they voted for. Let's continue.
And take to the processing plants or go down through the system. That's dropped 40 cents a pound already just from that plant closure.
Why does one giant corporation like Tyson closing one processing plant threaten to destroy your entire livelihood overnight? Because these 4 multinational conglomerates control 80% of all U.S. beef processing. I think it's time for more people to understand that every single time conservative platforms block antitrust enforcement, gut regulatory oversight, and kill protections under the Packers and Stockyards Act, they hand complete monopoly power to the meat packers. You voted for all of this deregulation. And when there are no competing buyers, you take whatever loss they decide to hand you.
We're not going to retain heifers and build a herd when we can have, the stroke of a pen, drop our price to where we don't make a profit.
This isn't new. This has been the exact playbook across both terms of this administration. Just in his first term alone, this trade war cost U.S. farmers $27 billion in profits. Farmer Chapter 12 bankruptcies spiked and reached an all-time high by 2019. And between 2017 and 2024, this country lost 160,000 American farms. And to paper over that damage, the American taxpayer funded $10 billion in farmer bailouts, but most of those bailouts went to mega farms and agribusinesses.
I get it. Beef is high in the store. Look at what else is high in the store. Look at what's high for the rancher and the producer. Fuel, land, labor, all of it.
Again, this goes back to the tariffs and the trade wars brought on by this administration. Those tariffs affect all of us.
You got a $9 latte, but $7, $8, $9 a pound for ground beef is too much, right?
And see, that's pure deflection. Blaming consumers and working families for buying a coffee on their way to work is not the flex you think it is. Working families are trying to survive in an economy where housing, fuel, and grocery prices are breaking them. And God forbid they spend $9 on a coffee that maybe makes their day a little bit better. I think you need to remember these working families and consumers, we are not the ones setting beef prices.
Because where there are cattle, there's freedom. And when these disappear, so is your freedom.
Where there are cattle, there is freedom. Patriotic slogans don't pay your feed bill. But you need to remember, we consumers are not your enemy. And a lot of us voted for your farms. A lot of us voted to help your farms, and you didn't. Those votes are why we are where we are right now with farms and everything else.
Okay, he dropped that microphone. He kept it all the way real. And I think that's the part that's sad is that, a lot of folks are pointing the fingers, like he said, at the consumers. They're saying, well, y'all will sit there and spend $9 on a Starbucks, but you guys are complaining about beef prices. And I remember saying all this stuff last year when people were talking about the tariffs were supposed to help, us, and we're going to be saving money. And I'm like, that does not make any sense. Like, the tariff is not to benefit us. That's benefiting them, these businesses and everything else. The fact that everything has been bought out by corporations says a lot. Like everything, like there's no more competition. It's just simply monopolies, and it's affecting people more and more. Just the other day, over 2,500 Tyson workers walked into work and they were all laid off. Every last one of them. So those are now people who are in an environment, in a community who have been laid off of work. These are people who have been working there, 10 plus 20 years. They wanted to retire at those jobs, and now those jobs are gone. Now they're in the job market, which is already really bad for, people just looking for regular work. Now there's even more competition in that town. So these conglomerates are having a lot of effect on a lot of people. And so these farmers are now, fucking around and finding out. So this whole situation is a mess. Let me go ahead and play another clip here. Give me just a second.
And what she's saying is like so true, because like I was just showing y'all, I showed y'all the news clips a moment ago, to show you, like, what I'm saying, like the warehouse. And the thing is with everything that's going on, You know, when they had this whole thing with Doge that came in with Elon Musk, and they were doing all these different cuts and ties and stuff like that, a lot of those cuts and shortcuts to, you know, so-called save money, you know, only make the billionaires richer, our food poorer, eggs higher, gas, you know what I'm saying, and our reflection pool to reflect on the position of the United States of America, which is green pilling and an orange haze over the goddamn thing, you know. But I want to come and let you just know this right here. Thank you for being over here at Tank Talks TV. One shout out to Lovely T. I would advise definitely you know, saying make sure you know, look into it or whatever, and you know what I'm saying, just checking in, because you do want to know what you're putting in your body. You know what I'm saying? Like they tell us a long time ago, you are what you eat, right? And so, you know, you want to be aware of what you're eating. But if you don't know what you're eating and you trust what you're eating, because, you know, listen, we really do. We put trust in these people to, you know, and we pay our tax money so we can just leave our stress and our depression and everything else, deal with it. You know, the last thing we think we're going to be dealing with is, like, you know, wondering that our government let the FDA check our food. Did they get, you know, to make sure we don't have any salmonella, to make sure that, you know, it is not, you know, we that's what we should. And that kind of tax money, you know, listen, I'm not mad about. Listen, take that tax money, okay? Take it with the quickness, okay? I ain't mad about that, you know, because, you know, you want to live. Sometimes you want to live carefree about stuff, but in cases like this, it makes you not live carefree. It makes you live with the wonder and the hypothesis and the question and everything else that comes with it, you know. And I don't like that, you know. So just let you know, this has been you know, Trump and his new beef deal. You know, where's the meat coming from? We don't know. He has not yet announced that one. You know, just like when he was running for the election, he said he had prospects, or he had ideas of what he wanted, and it ended up being Project 2025. Okay, now we don't know where our beef is coming from. You know, if you would like to, over here on Tank Talks TV, I did an episode a while back in the video section. It was called what are they feeding us, the food, something like that. But go check out the videos too. I'll take it here at the bottom. But thank you. Happy Monday morning. Hope you're having a great day, and be aware of what you're eating. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure you're drinking plenty of water. You know, the water we got left. You know, peace out, now.